If what we tell ourselves on a consistent basis ultimately shapes our sense of identity and self-worth, how do we go about changing our inner dialogue and ensure that it doesn't continue to fuel our self-doubt and insecurity? Hi, I'm Jacqueline, and welcome. We at Joyful Living Mindset are so excited that you're here because we believe that you can be wildly successful without compromising your happiness or peace of mind. And we're here to help you navigate that journey and succeed on your terms. So to start really changing your inner dialogue and developing a cadence for how to catch yourself and consistently stay on top of your inner dialogue, because it's constantly going, like your inner critic is constantly going 24/7. And for you to constantly and be able to stay on top of that and really start to tame your inner critic, if you will, and steer it in a direction that actually serves you and uplifts you and breathes life into you, really boils down to three things. And the first is really believe that you are worthy of love. And I don't say that just to be on a general, on a general term of like, okay, yeah, believe that I'm worthy of love. No, I mean that in a real deep sense of humility and acceptance, meaning that accept that we're human and we're not perfect and we will never be perfect, and that it's okay to not be perfect, and it's okay for us to make mistakes or make decisions that didn't pan out the way that we did, and be able to forgive ourselves and be kind to ourselves for the progress that we make throughout life, because we're just growing and learning along the way. And so there's really no right or wrong way. And so if we can just be kind to ourselves, accept that we are just human and we will stumble along this game of life with everybody else out there, and forgive whatever perceived mistakes that we have made in the past, and believe that we are worthy of love. That's first and foremost, and that's so crucial. And I can't tell you how many people I have met along the way, myself included. For the longest time, I did not believe that I was worthy of love. And until I was able to try and believe that every single day, I would try a little harder and a little harder to believe that I am worthy of love too, that things really started shifting for me, and I started really changing how I saw and felt about myself. I started to be able to be more mindful of what I was telling myself, the inner dialogue that was going on, because I started to believe in myself again. I started to care about myself again. So that's the first foundational step. The second is to reconnect to the core of who you are. So I'll give you a sentence stem that will help you flush out this process. And start with, I am someone who, right? It's just finish up that sentence, whatever that may be, and whatever topic that your mind drifts to. I am someone who. Get to know yourself again, right? This can be kind of, in some cases, it may be a challenging task because we're so not used to putting the spotlight on ourselves and really learning about ourselves all over again, right? Because we're constantly as high achieving and caring individuals and women, we often are just so busy worrying about somebody else and taking care of other things and giving ourselves to so many different things that we often don't reserve a lot of time and energy for ourselves. And so this is a great practice for us to really reconnect back to the core of who we really are and remind ourselves again of who we really are and who we're wanting to become more and more as we travel along this journey of life. And so just ask, like, I'm someone who, right? I am someone who loves to laugh at silly jokes. I am someone who loves to dream about what's possible and all that's available and possible to me. I am someone who loves to observe people's behaviors so that I can learn what drives human behaviors more. Right? So just these little things every single day, just how many minutes that you can carve out of your day, and just write, I am someone who. And before you know it, you'll have a list long of core attributes about yourself, characteristics and attributes about yourself that you're like, oh yeah, oh, I forgot all about that. Oh yeah, that was something really cool and neat about myself that I forgot, right? And so this practice is about helping you to reconnect to the core of who you are. And then third is to practice the art of reframing. And this is especially important if you struggle with coming up with the statement of, I am someone who, that is positive. And you're finding that a lot of your list is all about negativity. So for instance, let's say, for instance, you just broke up with someone who you thought was the love of your life, right? And that relationship is no longer in existence, and you're crying and still grieving over the loss of that relationship, right? And so you may have originally wrote that I am a hot mess, or I am someone who is a hot mess right now, right? To reframe that, you could say, I am someone who is in the process of healing and purging all that needs to be released so that I can expand my capacity for more love and joy in the future, right? So you can see the difference, right? Yes, the fact is that you are still grieving, that you're still in pain, but when you look at the two different ways of what you're telling yourself, would you rather tell yourself that you are someone who's a hot mess right now? Or would you rather tell yourself that you are someone who is in the process of healing and purging what needs to be released from your body so that you can make more room and have more capacity for joy and love in the future, right? What makes you feel better as you are thinking or saying those words to yourself? And really the art of reframing is really about replacing judgment with fun facts, right? So in the example that I gave earlier, judgment is, I'm someone who is a hot mess right now, right? You're putting judgment on your grieving process, right? That you're like, I'm a hot mess, right? But the fun fact is that I'm just in the process of healing. I'm human, and I'm just in the process of healing and purging what needs to be purged so I can make more room and have capacity for more joy and love in the future, right? And so that's really the heart of, is really at the heart of reframing, is replacing judgment with fun facts. So I hope that was helpful. Again, that was 1 is to believe that you are worthy of love. 2 is to reconnect to the core of who you are. And 3 is to practice the art of reframing. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to watch out for my next video where I talk about how aligning to what you value will elevate your network. Because as you're reshaping your identity and who you are and who you want to be going forward, you're also emitting this vibrational resonance of the people that are naturally going to find that quality, that attributes attractive and intriguing, and will naturally flow into your life. So if you're especially someone who is wondering like, oh my gosh, like, Why are the people in my life, in my network, most of them are either negative or energy vampires, and I wish I had more positive people, more like-minded people in my network? This is how you do it. Like, you really identify and align with your values so that you can elevate your network and the people in your lives going forward. Until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.